Welcome to the Value Telling Podcast, where we talk to some amazing people about all aspects of their persuasive process and decision winning. We cover off what value telling content really is and why it plays an essential role in winning decisions, like securing that dream job, getting that buy-in from that hard-to-please client, winning a place on that PSL after a tough tender process, and so much more. At the heart of the podcast is celebrating all the great things people do to understand and deliver a high persuasive performance and what it really means. I'm Matt Trainer, and I'm delighted to spend a few moments with some amazing people. I'm not a guru, but I'm an experienced business leader, and I've worked in, led and advised hundreds of companies and thousands of people over the last 20 years. I've picked up a thing or two along the way. I've seen the good, the bad and the ugly, and I'm ready to share. If you value some thought-provoking culture, insightful science, inspirational snippets on all things decision winning, you're in the right place.
Something I read quite recently, which was, I suppose it's an obvious thing when I say it out loud, but I just thought it just took me back and I thought, yeah, I really agree with that. And I'd love your insight. But I think over the last 10, 15 years, with the advent of the internet and the availability of information and masses of it as well, actually the way we sell or the way we inspire and influence is hugely different now. So before, when you were buying a car, you'd have to rely on the car salesman telling you everything he knew, and you had to almost back or take a leap of faith that he wasn't having you in the net. Where now there's so many places you can go, like Trustpilot and Glassdoor, and get loads of reviews and research, and actually the buying community are a lot savvier now as a result of that. So I think now, in my humble opinion, I think it's more important than ever to play with a straight bat, be authentic, have facts that you can actually back up. It goes back to what we were saying earlier, that being authentic, having proof is imperative. What are your views on that?
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, we do all have access to reviews and information online within literally milliseconds. We can Google, check that a website's real, check your credentials, stalk you on LinkedIn, stalk you on Facebook sometimes if your privacy settings are low enough. And people are doing this, if they're applying for jobs, they might try and find out who the hiring manager is. What are they like outside of work? And obviously it works the same way the other way. That people are starting to get in trouble when they were a student, posting crazy things on social media, and actually now, before their interview, hiring managers might have come across something that seems inappropriate. So our social media presence is, can be haunting. So there's kind of lots of challenges that are created from the advent of social media and the internet. But yeah, I really agree that authenticity is key, because if you're not yourself, you can only keep up appearances for so long, and ultimately people share information. They share it quickly. If they don't like something, they're going to call it out. So it's much better to be authentic and talk about your products and services in an honest way that speaks to the customer's needs. And if they like you and your brand, then yeah, you're onto a winner. And if not, then somebody else will be. So if you're not genuine, then you will get found out. So it's much better to stick with your brand identity and be authentic.
Brilliant. You mentioned then about how we can use social media to stalk LinkedIn and Facebook and just use the internet to really get under the skin of some of the buying community, the decision makers that we're trying to inspire and influence. So with that said, in my world, identifying what we call win themes are quite critical to us. In another word, what buttons to press, what are some of the key topics that they're really interested in, where are they hanging out and how are they getting their information is critical for mapping out who these decision makers are. And I know you're very familiar with that. In your world or in some of your clients, what are some of the most important win themes that you're coming across? In my world, a lot of it at the moment seems to be social value, giving back to the community, inevitably the environmental footprint, but that's been around for quite some time now. Have you picked up any trends or any observations along the way?
Yeah, I definitely agree about the environmental side of things, because people are just a lot more aware of it, and a lot more people care about the planet now that we're a bit more educated about how we can help. So yeah, I've seen quite a lot of, actually in the freelance world, quite a few freelancers specializing in helping companies with a social purpose, and that's how they're differentiating themselves. So yeah, so that's quite an interesting take. I think in terms of my clients and me trying to get new clients and make new relationships, it's kind of the fairly obvious win themes of experience. You know, do I have enough experience that they can trust me to get on with the job, especially on a remote basis when they don't really, you know, where it can be quite transactional. They don't have me in the office next to them and can see that I'm working hard on their project. So experience as a win theme is important for me to get across and reassure them that actually I'm not just saying I can do this. I do have the experience in house that I will use to get the job done. And time as well. Again, it's always an important factor really in any business, but everybody wants things now, don't they? And they want to know that you're going to be able to deliver and stick to their deadlines. So again, it's all about getting across why they should have faith in you and trust that you're going to be able to do what they want you to do in the time that they want you to do it in. Absolutely. So these are the kind of themes that I need to come up with compelling reasons for them to use me.
Brilliant. Thanks for that insight. That's really interesting. And how do you go about installing trust? Because I think that's a real challenge, especially with so many over sensationalized sales efforts and fake news and just the world we're in. The commodity of trust is ever more valuable. So how do you import trust in your clients, especially if you're remote? That's got to be a real tough challenge, right?
Yeah, it's all quite new to me, so I'm working on it at the moment. But in terms of my in-house experience and working on marketing companies rather than marketing myself, it comes back to the authenticity and the proof points. That's a phrase that we use a lot in marketing. And it is what it says it is, really. They're points that back up what you're saying. So like I say, if we're talking about internal communications, say, and the leaders of a business are trying to engage with their staff, or trying to recruit new people into the business, they might have something written down that says, our employees are at the heart of everything we do. Well, that's a really nice sentiment and it's a nice sentence, but prove it. How are they at the heart of everything that you do? What do you do for them? How do you care for them? Whereas actually, from a copywriting perspective, I would say to them, okay, well, what benefits do you offer? How can we show that you care? And then it might be something like, oh, with free fruit deliveries every week, we make sure that our employees have access to a healthy breakfast to start the day. And, you know, saying a sentence like that rather than just a blank, you know, sentence without any proof, it falls a lot more flat. So proof points are key to making a stronger argument.
There are lots of cool things happening in your company every day. As a leader, it's hard to keep track of the great things that happen, and remote work doesn't make it easier. Capturing and using this information that we call value-telling content is important, as it is needed to make a compelling bid, a sales pitch, deliver a performance review, and so much more. Blu-J can help supercharge your persuasive power by creating content that converts. Our platform works like a logbook that records the important stuff. Our powerful search makes it quick and easy to find what you need. Win more decisions with Blu-J. Book a call on our website and get a guided tour of what we do.